What if you offer somebody like $100 bill and be like, here you go, but you have to maybe you feel like a pimp after at that point. It's like, but you have to work.
Yeah, you're handing out the money already. It would be better to just show up and just say like, "Would you like to make $100?"
$100, and that sounds the same thing. It doesn't matter how you say it; it sounds sketchy.
Out of curiosity, I looked up what's the lowest salary in the world, like in countries, and apparently Cuba, is, if not the lowest, one of the lowest, with the equivalent of $9 a month.
Okay, it may sound harsh to say like $9 is like a month, right? I think that was basically what you were saying. Like $9
Right.
a month would be the pay. That doesn't mean that they need like their goods and services cost the same as what we're paying, right? Like,
oh, right, yeah.
But that doesn't that if you put that into like a world economy perspective, you know, they're definitely not having all these fancy luxuries, right? Like commodities that a lot of people have in the world. Like that's they strip a lot of that basically. And there, I've seen a couple of Cuban documentaries where, like, yeah, you see it and it's like, you kind of are just living day to day, and you know, yeah, sure, you get to eat, but you know, maybe your sanitation system is not to par, you know, or there's a lot of like medical stuff that are missing. You know, they don't have all the medical equipment. There is no MRI, like MRI machine or any, you know, like that kind of stuff. It's like limited, right? Because it's like technical expertise and they're expensive pieces of equipment. I like to think that I would get guilt from scamming people out of money, but if you put yourself in like those people's situations, like if you're against the wall and it's you live or you die, like, you know, it's kind of hard to say I wouldn't do it to like make your family, you know, survive.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation. I mean, I still think it's wrong.
It's shitty.
But,
no, it's definitely wrong.
But you can't maybe understand why they do it. It's still wrong.
Well, I mean, think about it though, because $10 for that person, it's nothing to you.
Well, yeah, but like a lot of the scams are not $10.
Right. You know that I'm a dreamer, dude. I like to think the best of people.
It's the same idea of, would you steal to feed your children? Like basically that. Like, would you go into a market and steal food?
If it's for my children, yes. If it's for me, no.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the same idea. Like, would you scam? You're stealing. Like, would you scam people to feed your family? It's like you're essentially doing, in a way, the same thing as going into a supermarket and stealing food.
Would you do it? I mean, I'm open about it. I guess if I had kids and if I was if literally there was nothing else I could do, right? Basically, all the options are exhausted. Mm-hmm. Either you do this or you're done. Would you do it?
Yeah, and I think it, like, everyone would do it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you have to be crazy not to let your kids starve,
right,
over choosing to do something that's just like morally right. You know, I don't know. Like I think that
it's a deep question.
It would be, for sure. And it's kind of like, it's an ethical question. But to me, it's worse to let your kids starve than to steal.
Yeah, and I think the same. I know this is a hypothetical situation too, because you know, usually, I mean, you have options. At least, actually, no, I shouldn't say usually. Like a good chunk of the times, you'll have options, alternatives to going that route. But I know that there's people that are, you know. Do you usually, or would you give people money? Like if somebody comes to you, you know, in the middle of the street and asks you for like a couple of dollars. Are you the kind of person that would usually give them something if you had it? Or are you not? And maybe before you answer, to make it fair, I'll answer. I'm usually the type of person that doesn't really give money to somebody that is asking me for money in the streets, and
Just
is
like a random
person,
like a homeless person.
yeah, and it could be sadly, it's like a truth, and across the border where you see kids asking for money. I am of the mindset where I really don't want to. I don't like to give money because I don't know what they're gonna use the money for. So I'm more content by giving like food, or if they want a job, or something like that. I have more empathy for that. But giving money to a stranger in the middle of the street, that's something that I actually don't do. Maybe I'm wrong on it, but I just don't do it because I've had some experiences that tell me that they may not do something good with that money.
For me, it depends. Like 90% of the time, I don't give them money. I only give money if it's like a really old person that's out there in the beating sun, that that it's obvious that this person, well, and there's been all kinds of crazy stories, but I choose to believe that he probably can't get a job. That's why, because he's old already. And I'm talking about like really old people that that you see out there on the streets asking for money,
or like a prosthetic leg, or
something like stuff like that. Like I do, give them money, but most of the time, at least the majority of people that I see out there in the streets asking for money are people that seem young. I've seen like 20-something-year-olds, 30-something-year-olds out there that seem fully capable of working. So I do not give money to them. And I also don't give money to kids because kids, at least in my experience, yes, crossing the border in Mexico, you see this a lot, or in the streets or whatever. I specifically don't give money to kids because you always see the parent just like sitting in the corner, and he's just like sending the kids to ask for money, then give them I've given money in the past, but I stopped for, I don't know, I probably in the past 10 years I stopped giving money. But when I used to give them money, like I'd see it all the time, the kid would get the money and like run to mom and give her the money.
I'll tell you the experience that I had that kind of changed my mind, because this one time I don't remember all the details, right? But more or less the story was that we had a family member at a hospital, right? And it was late at night. Everybody was tired. It wasn't like a good mentally. We weren't right, because like I said, a family member is like in the hospital and everybody's worried. That kind of mindset. Like it's just not a good day. Like it's one of those days where you just want to go to the hospital, drive home, and kind of just tune in for the night and wake up the next day. But we came out of the hospital. And we had taken, I think at that time, this was many, many years ago too. We had taken a basket of, I guess sliders, you could call it. And, because there was going to be family there and they had been in the hospital for a long time. We're like, hey, they're going to be hungry or whatever. There was a lot of food left over because at the end, family just then decided to like take turns and started going out to eat. So they were all full, We leave and we're driving home. And then my aunt, who was in the car, there was somebody asking for money, and it was a group of kids. So we give them the basket, the whole basket, and we're talking about like 20 sliders or whatever, fresh. Like we told them like, hey, like nobody touched, nobody said clean. Like we don't have money, but you can have these, right? And we do. And first this was kind of like a hint that they wanted the money, because it's more like they kind of give you like this odd look of like, huh? Like they're like, I guess they're used to always getting money
when you try to give them food.
But we gave them food, and we gave them the food. Now they had the choice of being like, oh no, thanks. We're actually just we're needing money to pay rent or whatever. They had the choice of having a small conversation of saying like, thank you, but we don't need this. We actually need the money for X. But they take the basket. We leave the kids, like you're saying, go to the parent. We're driving out, and we just so happen that we get a red light, and my mom is looking out the back. I mean, from the rearview mirror. She's looking back, and the first thing we see is that the kids throw the basket to the ground. And then my mom's like, she's like mad, and then tells my aunt, and then we all look around, and yeah, lo and behold, like all the bread and all the food is on the ground. And that's when, and this was me as like almost like a kid, like a teen. And that's what changed my whole mindset of people that are asking money sometimes are not it's not.
They're not in it because they're starving.
Yeah,
they're in it just because they need money, or they want money.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is every situation, right? Like I do understand there's a lot of poverty because there is an issue, right? There's people with mental health problems out there. There's people that definitely do not have the means to survive. Like you're saying, like somebody with a prosthetic leg may struggle to get a job, like things like that. Where I go, like, dude, like, yeah. But sadly, that whole thing has been obscured because of some of the experiences that I have. And I've also seen where I give money and I literally see people bust out a can of, like a beer can out of their pocket, which I don't have any problem with, like, if you're homeless and if you're just, having a beer. But if you're in that situation where every penny counts, like I wouldn't do that, like you get more nutrition from like a juice box, like
right.
I know maybe I'm a little twisted in that end. I'm
I mean that's fine. I mean, before I forget, get back to your story about the kids, it reminds me of that scene in Scary Movie. I think in Scary Movie.
Is this the second episode where you break Scary Movie?
I think it is. But there's a lot of good content in those movies. I think it's the first one when the main character is like at school or whatever, and there's a homeless person, and it's like, hey, do you have $5 or something like that? And then the girl, Cindy, I think is her name. Yeah, and Cindy's like, no, but I have this like sandwich or something.
Oh, okay.
And she gives him, here you go, and the dude just fucking throws the sandwich bag. Is like, I said $5, bitch. Anyways, no, yeah, that's happened to me before when not, sure, if a dude approaches to me like an old guy and is like, hey man, give me $1. Ask for $1 or whatever, because I want to get a 40. I'll give him I don't care.
At least he's being honest.
Yeah, he's being straight up. Cool, yes, man. We all need a 40 in our lives. But it's happened to me and this happened not long ago, maybe it was 6 months ago. A person approached me and asked for money. I had no, spare money.
By the way, who carries cash anymore?
Yeah, that's another difficult thing, I guess.
No, they got Venmo.
I won't doubt it. Yeah. But anyway, it's like, hey, do you have money? And I'm like, dude, I don't have any coins. I don't have anything. Like, sometimes you have like some coins like around
spare
in your car,
change.
but like spare change. But I had nothing at all. And the dude is kind of like pressuring me, like, come on, you gotta have something. I'm like, whatever. Like, I give in. I'm like, okay. I scratch like a pen, 1 peso.
Yeah.
And then I give it to him. And then the dude just like grabs it, looks at it, and just like throws it back at me. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
I like very much like that Scary Movie.
Except that it hurts a little more.
But like he threw it at the back of my truck. He didn't like throw it at me.
Yeah.
So I just gave it to, I gave it to him like, oh, here you go, man. Like, it's all I have. And then I just I move forward a little bit, and the dude is like, he looks at it. I just, kind of like with my side eye, I look at him, and he just like, I just hear like in the, in the back of my truck, just like a click. Yeah. He just like throws it back of it. And then when I, later on, when I was pumping gas, I checked my truck bed, and lo and behold, the peso is right there. This dude.
Damn.
Anyways, yeah, it's happened. But, I still hold my beliefs. Like, if it's like an old guy, sure, I'll throw.
Is the fact that you
I'll
don't
throw,
know?
like $1 or whatever I can, whatever I have, because I don't have cash with me all the time. Because, like you said, not everyone carries cash all the time. Especially, I rarely carry cash with me. But if I have cash on me and I see someone that seems to be like actually struggling and seems to be like actually like in need and to somehow have a reason to be there, then sure, I try to, help out.
This is, for me, it's the fact that I've seen, I think I do have more empathy if they're older and if you see they have like some sort of disability. Sadly, it has to be kind of obvious because I do have doubt of, if it's not. I've seen many things. I've seen a guy who actually has faked to have an amputated leg. And I've seen guys fake walking too. So I've seen a lot of that stuff that, that they're walking crooked and stuff like that. So sadly, it makes me doubtful of a lot of things that people do. But I usually always come to this conclusion, or at least this is like my justification for my doubt, where I go like, if they're an able-bodied person, right? Instead of asking for money, why don't you ask me for a job that could earn you money?
What would you have him do?
Anything dude, like I'll drive you to the house, help me pick up a couple of weeds, or cut the grass or whatever. What any wash my car on
help me pick up weed.
Well, that too.
Help me roll a joint.
Oh, you're like, oh yeah. But you get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. I wouldn't ask you to do, or maybe depends on the person, right? But maybe I do have like a DIY project at the house that I may need an extra couple of hands on, and you'll probably get more money from me that way than if you just want to pick up like $2. Like I'll even probably treat you a meal and let you shower, whatever you want, like like for me, I would have way more empathy. And I've seen that where this dude actually, and I think he made it into the news, where he literally had a sign and all he was asking for was a job so that way he could feed his family.
Okay. But
anyways, this guy was there for a week. He was asking for, like I said, like it was a long cardboard saying like, hey, I'm looking for a job. I have these are like the things that I'm good at. Like, I just want a job. And finally I got a red and I rolled down my window and then I asked him, I was like, hey dude, I've seen you, like you're looking for a job. I actually don't have anything. But I actually felt bad for the guy. This is an able person. Like he looked young, like maybe like your age or my age. And I was like, but I have $5. Would you want them? He actually denied it. He's all like, is there anything else, anything that I can do for you to earn me, some money instead? That's where I go like, dude, this guy is legit. Eventually, that guy actually made it into the news. And I think he got a job from somebody, but...
His name was Jeff, right? Jeff Bezos?
I guess he lost a lot of hair. Yeah. That's not the story of Jeff Bezos, right? No. I thought that guy was born rich. He has a fucking rocket now.
It was the story of his dad. No, I'm just kidding. I do remember that story because I remember it from the news.
Yeah,
what you said. Yeah, like some pictures of the person, or if it wasn't that, I remember there was another guy who did that initially, and then like a person helped them, like do a resume and print like a certain number of copies of his resume, and he just like stood in the corner and was like handing out resumes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, this dude definitely got a job from, like, on the news, if I remember correctly, it was basically this dude got a gig from this.
That's pretty cool. That's an anchorman.
Yeah. He's spinning signs. Not that we should. There's nothing wrong with that. We're just saying, making fun. Yeah, but you see, and that's where I go like, I don't know how many people could do that. Like, I almost feel like maybe we shouldn't do like I don't want to do like a social experiment, but it's like, what if you decide to offer somebody like $100 bill and be like, here you go, but before they take it, be like, but you have to. Maybe you feel like a pimp after at that point. It's like, but you have to work.
Yeah, you're handing out the money already. No, it would be better to just show up and just say like, would you like to make $100?
$100, and that sounds the same thing. It doesn't matter how you say it. It sounds sketchy. You want to make a 20 or 100? Either way, it sounds sketchy. We have to work this the way we bring this.
Stay tuned. We'll figure it out.
This was also in the news, and this is why, like I said, it's hard to know who to believe. There was this lady and a baby or a daughter. Anyways, she was asking for money. Same story. She was asking for money. Was saying that not the typical, but that the husband had left them, and that she was about to be homeless and needed money to pay rent. So that way, so she would be asking for money, and she had the kid. I don't know if it was a baby. I remember a small kid. Anyways, you could tell like the kid was there, and then many months passed. I guess people did in social media and in the news. Like this person also caught like attention in the news. And people in social media start, now there's like a GoFundMe for pretty much anything that you can think. But people started like a GoFundMe, pick up money for her, whatever. Somehow, I can't remember how exactly how it happened, but they found the husband, quote unquote, also asking for money, saying the exact same story that the lady was saying. He also got some money, but he didn't pick up as much attention as the lady because the lady always had the kid. At least that's what that's why I think her campaign was so effective. But then later they found out, because once you get that much attention, people also start looking into who the hell are you? And that's when they found out that it's not so much that they didn't have money, it's just that they didn't want to work, and they actually had like drug addiction problems, and like they actually had like a decent car, a good house. Like they were just basically living off of, they were looking for extra cash. So, actually, the guys also had a job. So this was like their second job, which was basically getting money
Just
from people.
From like GoFundMe. Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and it worked.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's so hard to know who is lying to you, or
now that you're mentioning this, before I forget what I'm going to say, this is something that there's probably a reason why it doesn't exist, and it's probably something stupid.
Do you want to pimp still?
No, it's probably something stupid. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So what if, like, let's say on Facebook, let's say,
I'm listening,
or it could be anything, right? But like, I'm just saying Facebook because a lot of people has Facebook and usually have like 300 to 500 friends in there or whatever.
Well, you do. That's typical.
So what would happen if, let's say, you form a group, like a group on Facebook,
a pyramid scheme, okay,
where like it's a group of like 10,000 people, because there's groups on Facebook or whatever, like dog lovers or whatever,
the iiwii show on Facebook,
or a bunch of like different groups, right? What if in one of those groups you call it, I don't know, what goes around comes around, and then you can have however many members you want, but I'm just thinking like 10,000, and each month everyone Venmos $1 to one person in the group. Do that every other month. I mean, like every month everyone switches and everyone has $10,000.
That is a thing.
I know it's a thing, but I only know that it's a thing at a smaller scale. I didn't know like like Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're thinking of, in Spanish, they call them quinelas. Right?
Condina,
okay.
Usually do them like at the office or with friends.
Yeah. It's basically like an advance or a loan, because you technically get that dollar back later in the year.
Right.
And you're going to cash out. And you're always
like putting money in.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like it just rotates. Yeah, essentially, it's this literally the same idea as a Condina, but at a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about, like it could be $100,000 that you get one day.
Right. Yeah, no, so I know for fact that there are large groups, not necessarily on Facebook, but there are large groups of people that do this. I don't know about 10,000, but but why? But what were you going with this?
No, it just reminded me because that GoFundMe is, in a way, I mean, what I brought up is not illegal, I guess. The GoFundMe stuff was because, well, I don't even know if it qualifies as illegal. I guess it's morally wrong what they did, but I guess people were volunteering their money. So I don't. Yeah,
because at that point it's a donation.
So yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
I know it's morally wrong, but technically, I guess it was legal what they did. Unless you throw in the fact that they were lying and stuff.
Have you ever done that with family or coworkers?
GoFundMe or what?
No, no. I mean, everybody has a GoFundMe. No.
Everybody.
Oh wait, you don't have a GoFundMe?
I need one. I guess.
Actually, the iiwii show has a. I'm just kidding. We don't have a GoFundMe. We don't make any money from this.
That's why.
That's why we should start a GoFundMe. No, at work or with like family. Have you ever done that?
At Condina?
Yeah.
Which I don't know what the name in English would be, but yes, no, I've never done it.
I haven't done it, but I've always questioned like what's really the use for that.
It's just savings.
But I mean, okay, this is how I know it. Or when I told you that I know it for a fact, this is how I know it. Everybody puts $1, let's say, in a month, right? Everyone puts $1. Boom. You collect, let's say, $10,000 because there's 10,000 people. And I think once they lock it, no more people can get in or get out. For like,
right.
That period. At least there's no contract. It's just like your word.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say $10,000. That they at random, or you get to choose if you want to get that money sooner or later. Down the line. So that month somebody takes that money out. Now, the next month comes in, that person that got the $10,000 only gets to put $1 back, and they continue doing this until everybody gets a chance at $10,000, So technically, it's more of the difference between the GoFundMe and I guess this is that you're technically going to be putting $1 for, I don't want to do the math, but you're going to spend again.
Let's say for a year. Let's say for just to get. It's usually
because
like a month or something like that.
Yeah, the whole point of it is that everybody gets to have 10,000. Everybody's going to have at some point or another $10,000. The whole point is that you are going to spend $10,000 overall through the course of the time that this thing goes on. Right?
The point is savings. The point is because not everyone is good at saving. So this forces you to save. It's like an unspoken contract where you're forcing yourself.
I see it more as a loan.
Money.
I see it more as a loan.
But it's not, because you put in 10K, you get back 10K.
Yeah, but you're getting an advancement on the money that you will have in the future.
Well, yeah, I guess it is a loan and save. It's the same thing. Because what would be the difference of instead of you... It's a loan in the sense that it's an advance. Yes, it's true. You're saying like, I want the 10K now, and then I'm going to be paying it back interest-free, and then, call it a day.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's it.
And that's where I define it, because as saving, I see it as something that may not necessarily grow in value, but it's something that you always have. Right? Because...
Yeah, I guess. I now I'm seeing it, yes, I'm seeing it more of a loan, but... Go back, but not necessarily. Because what if you have $0?
You can't get into this kind of thing.
No, you can't. But that's what I'm saying. But like, you can save for whatever in a month. For the sake of the example, in a month you save $10,000. So you didn't always have $10,000.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
To a point where you got
but then again, a loan, it's involved. The loan gets granted because you're able to back it eventually, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like somebody won't loan you money if they know that you can't pay it back. That's a donation because you pretty much know that they won't give you that money back. right? So I guess I see it like a lot. And okay, gets into the nitty gritty, but I'm really financially like I'm like I follow my money a lot, right? So, for me, I always see it like this kind of, and the reason why I ask, like, I don't understand why people do it is because I feel like I can do more money by me saving or investing that money versus giving it away. Because you don't, technically, whoever uses that money at the beginning, whoever gets the $10,000 at the beginning makes not profit, but makes money usually devalues basically, or loses value with time, right? So whoever comes in at the end, whoever gets that $10,000 at the end, like what you could do with $10,000 in this year versus like 20 years from now is not the same, right? Like your $10,000 are gonna not get you the same car, So the person at the end always gets it's actually losing money.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with any of the examples we're talking about right now.
No, yeah, because if you're giving $1, right, and if you are chosen to be one of the first to get the sum, right, you're handy dandy. Oh yeah, I give.
No. But what I'm saying is like, let's say, because all I'm saying is like everyone gives $1, so it could be that in a month, like. I'm not talking years. I'm not talking 20 years.
Also, they're like short term.
Yes, because all you're giving is $1 because you have 100,000 people in the group just giving $1 to a particular person.
But that would be like a year, more than a year. Definitely more than a year. Because if everybody, let's say if they ask you to put $1 every day for 365, right? Like for a year, and you're saying like 10,000 days?
No. Okay, so I'm saying that you get 100,000 people to all Venmo $1 to one person one day. So in theory, that person would have or it would have 990.
Yeah.
It would have $100,000 one day, right? And then the next day, everyone Venmos $1 to another person. So that other person would have $100,000 the next day.
Okay, but and that's exactly my point. In order for those groups, usually they have to go through everybody before you can call it quits. Like you cannot quit. Like everybody has to get their shot at $100,000.
Oh, because okay. I see what you're saying. Because it would have to 100,000 days would have to.
We had an episode on inflation, even though we just talked
just to for everyone to get it. Well, yeah, but like. I see your point, but still, you don't lose anything because...
Yeah, you do.
Well, you lose $1.
You lose purchasing power.
You lose $1.
No, you lose purchasing power.
Purchasing power of $1.
No, of $100,000.
How? Because you didn't give away your $100,000. Well,
but
theoretically.
You did. Yeah.
Theoretically,
you did.
But you didn't have those $100,000 to begin with.
But you would if you would have saved it.
But come on. The whole point, if you're doing this... Well, if you have $100,000,
you don't need to be doing this shit.
You don't need to be doing this stuff. But even like, no matter if you need to or don't need to, so you're looking at it like at a. I think you're looking at it wrong. Because you're looking at it at a very theoretical.
Yeah, okay. No, I know. I'm
because you're looking at opportunity cost of what I'm losing. But you're not necessarily. It's like as if you're saying like right now you're losing the opportunity cost of investing $1 million,
right?
Or $1 billion because you don't have it, and you don't have the chance to have $1 billion right now. Well, theoretically, yes.
Yeah.
You could. So. Every second that goes by, you're losing the opportunity cost of investing an infinite amount of money.
Right.
But it's just imaginary.
Right, because it also doesn't tell... Yeah. No, I get that.
So it is not until you are in a situation where I guess it's a bit more tangible for you to have the $1 billion where... it becomes more real, and I guess that would be a situation like this. Like if you don't have $100,000 and you all of a sudden you enter this scheme or whatever of like potentially having the opportunity to have $100,000 to invest, where you could say, oh shit, every day, unless I'm the first person that can get the money at a particular time, I'm losing it. But you didn't have $100,000 to begin with, so it's like it doesn't matter.
I guess the way I see it is, let's say, I still disagree.
You're wrong, but
yeah,
let's hear you out.
Yeah, hear me out. Listen, this is no financial advice, right? Either, but you're saying, so you didn't have, maybe you should simplify, because I know $100,000, I think brings
let's say $1,000. I was just like,
yeah.
Let's say $1,000, sure.
$1,000, yeah. Let's say if you're saying like I didn't, I get it. Like people, I guess I should say, I get it. Like not a lot of people, let's say, invest. Not a lot of $1,000 won't allow you to, like, let's say, open a restaurant. Not a lot of, like it doesn't really make or break financial situations, or improve your financial status in the world. I get it. But for me is, I guess I do see the point of, like, this is more of a tool to help you save money. But if you're committing yourself for, like, let's say $1,000 for 1,000 days, right? You should be able, because assuming like you get $1 every day, right? And you have to, 1,001 days, I guess you would have to say be. But anyways, if you're committing yourself to getting $1,000 to somebody every day, it's the same as if you just be like, okay, let me put this $1 every day in my savings account. Right? Because some of those savings accounts don't let you, let's say, take out money every day. There's I guess, in my view, there are tools to help you, and you can make a slight return, or not necessarily return on an investment, but keep the value of your dollar a little bit in par with what's going on in the world. So I guess for me, and I know that it's like a theoretical scenario, like the person at the beginning would always win, and the person at the end actually gets not the end of the stick, because it's not a horrible situation, but won't get the same returns, and not necessarily on investment, but the value of $1,000 by the time that guy gets it could be less, right? Because $1,000 in 2 years, like, think about it, just COVID, right? If it would have happened, like, let's say now $1,000 back then was worth way more than $1,000 now. So, the 365 days. So how much is that? Like, how many years? Like, how many years would 1,000 days be? 3 years.
Like 3 years. Like, keeping it simple.
Yeah, 3 years.
Probably a little less, but
yeah,
sure. 3 years.
Yeah, but you see, like, how many things can happen. And just for like $1 a day kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. I guess, yes, you do have a point for sure. And and I totally see it. Yes. That
now you see it. Before, I'm completely wrong.
If you scale it down, but come on, like
a Dogecoin is not worth
you're keeping
what the Dogecoin was worth a week ago.
That's true. But you're looking at it at a very real scale, I guess. You're considering like inflation, which is true that you have to if you
have all these factors.
If you're talking about this,
right?
But there's two sides, right? Like a lot of the people that are doing this cundinas are not necessarily like doing it. Not everyone has access to the tools of investing tools. I'm talking about like in the world. I'm not just like talking
the
people
typical
here in the U.S.
I guess, like if you think about it, not like I said, there's people that go their whole lives without investing. They just put their money in the bank, and there is no, like you're saying, there is no opportunity cost that you lose. Like you don't lose on that investment opportunity because you never plan to invest. So those people, I guess, they could see the benefit, but I would still think that. I guess the only benefit of, let's say, me potentially joining one of those groups would be if I need a loan where I don't want to pay like the interest rates, right? But at the end of the day, that still you are paying, even though you don't see it, you will be paying like something, right? Because you know, like I said, depending on how late you get it, you're going to be losing something. But I'll tell you that the truth about a lot of those, I've seen it a lot where people are part of those groups and a lot of people end up bailing or they can't commit to it. And it usually doesn't end up well. I think it works better if it's like at a workplace and it has to be adjusted to what people are usually comfortable doing too.
Right.
So it's not really that it's pushing your boundary into like how you save. It's just kind of like within your means. So I don't see the benefit.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. No. And I just brought it up. I'm not saying like you should do it, or I'm not even doing it.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, you convinced me. Let's do it.
Like what? It's almost like if you throw out. Okay, so this is a better one.
Okay.
Just put out like basically like a GoFundMe, but just be straight up and say, hey, I need 100,000 people to give me $1, and then boom. You don't have to give it back.
Yeah, but that's different because you don't have to give it back.
Right. Yeah. So if everyone did that, like, so if you did that without necessarily having the commitment, there's got to be a way. I can't articulate it, but there's got to be a way where you have a shitload of people give a little bit of money.
It's called a pyramid scheme at Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or what's that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Those catalog kind of salespeople, like that sell creams. No.
Oh, like
I said Victoria's Secrets, but I don't know if it's only. I don't even know.
Avon and
dude.
There's another one. Yeah, but I know, like where you buy shit on catalog. Yeah.
That's like the biggest scam, I feel. No? Or is that legit?
Is that a scam?
It has to be.
I don't know.
It's the whole thing of like, oh, you have to sell X boxes of this salad tosser, and and eventually if you sell $100, you get to hire people under you that sell 100 boxes, and then you get those people to sell 100 boxes for you, and for every people that you have, you're gonna make a percentile of what they're making.
Yeah, I have no idea how that works.
Really?
How it works? I know what they are.
Yeah.
I just thought like people got, because I have like, cousins and aunts and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if my mom did. I don't know. Like if you...
In my opinion, those people are literally getting scammed.
I didn't know like you had to... I just thought like you signed up and they gave it. And then you asked for what you wanted to sell.
No, usually they forced like they start you basically with like, we need you to sell this, and you front the money, and you have to sell it in order to make a profit. But if you don't sell it, you're stuck with the box. And usually, if you want to move up, because that's kind of how they make their money. If you just started, right, like they may just give you the box. But then if you really want to make a living out of this, then they start going like, okay, well, then you need to be taking X product a month, and you have to be selling it. And then they start piling, because where I think it becomes a scam is, think about it, a person can only sell so much product, and usually those people start with family. And the family goes like, oh yeah, and then they start going like, oh, I sold this box to my family, and it was easy. And then they go like, okay, next time I'm gonna get another box.
Yeah,
and then you go with your friends. No, then you go with your friends, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, and then you get the third box, and then you go with the family. The family's like, well, we still have the product that you gave us like a month ago.
Maybe the third one, you still have a chance. You got coworkers.
Yeah, okay, you get your coworkers. Yes,
three, you're good.
You're good. Now you get into the fourth box, you're done, unless you have a kid and you can sell it at their schools or whatever. But you see what I'm saying? It's not
right.
It's not possible. The chances are, like, these people do it because they know that the chances are that you won't sell it, and they're getting a free salesperson, because the money that you're making is not even minimum wage. It's more the money that they're making on the product. Like, like those soaps, like a soap, it probably costs them like, let's put a number, 10 cents to make, 10 cents to package, and 10 cents to deliver to you, right? So 30 cents for a soap. And the soap gets sold to, because it's, or organic, non-GMO,
Right. Yeah,
all
yeah.
this bull crap, you get it for $5. And for those $5 that you bought, this person gets to keep $1, right? The person that sold it to you, and the $4 goes to the company. You're never gonna. I mean, sure, you may make minimum wage the first 3 boxes, but then, then after that, you need to start investing into like marketing. You need to have your website, and now you're talking about a business. So at that point, you're pretty much needing more people. You move to more people. They do that for you. That's a pyramid scheme. That I don't know. I think my mom did sell at catalog at some point. That was my dog, by the way. That was not my stomach or anything. Yeah, and I have seen family members that do it. Like I said, most of the time we have been forced to like help them get rid of the product.
Right. Buy something.
Yeah.
By gunpoint.
Basically. It sucks though, because you see them and they're trying. It's just, I think they just kind of, if you work out the math, chances that you're not gonna. You can only sell so many soaps.
Right. Yeah. Well, luckily, as long as, because I also know people.
You also sell catalog.
No, I'm way too fucking lazy to do that. But it's mostly that.
But you would do it if you could.
Yeah, sure. But I know people that have done it, and they only do it for probably like a month, and then later on are like, screw this.
Oh, Herbalife. That's the bigger one that you see. No?
I know what it is, and I've seen it. I didn't know it was catalog. I guess it makes sense. It's by catalog, but it's only like nature products or some shit.
Right.
They're like shakes and like stuff like that, right?
I talk as if like I bought them like all the time, but like, yeah, I know there's like blends of juices, and now they sell like other stuff too. But
deodorant,
the soap that I was talking about. God. Yeah, I feel like it's a scam. If you think otherwise, leave it in the comment, but that's where I'll leave it for today.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Send me
$1. Please sign for the iiwii fund. We do not have an iiwii fund.